This meeting of the Historic District Commission will take place in a webinar format through Zoom. The chair of the commission is Todd Brady today. Host of the webinar is the building officials. Staff attending this meeting include Peter Zavinglis and Linda Galetta. Anyone speaking should state their names prior to speaking each time. The panelists in this webinar meeting will be the commission members and the building staff. Panelists who would like to comment on an item should indicate such by using the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. After a panelist raises their hand, they will be able to comment one at a time when called upon by the chairperson. Panelists should mute their microphones until called upon. Panelists calling into this meeting by telephone may raise or lower their hand by pressing *9, and to mute or unmute your call, press *6. To make a motion or second a motion, commission members can raise a hand and be acknowledged by the host or chair. To vote on a motion, commission members will be called upon individually by the chair to vote. The public can participate in the meeting during the public communications agenda item. The public will be asked to raise their hand during public communications if they want to speak at the time by using the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. The public will be called upon by the host one at a time and will be able to speak during this time. Attendees must identify themselves before speaking.
Okay, I see we have a quorum, and we'll start the meeting at 7:04 on May 18th, 2021. And I'm going to appoint Bill Ferguson to sit for Sarah Moriarty, who is not here today. I'm going to read the notice, the public notice of the hearing. Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice of one insertion on Monday, May 10th, 2021, Town of Groton Notice of Public Hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, May 18th, 2021 at 7 p.m. virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HDC 21-21, 9 Park Place, Jamie Masterson, owner applicant, restore front porch, pin number 2619144256557. HDC 21-22, 50 West Mystic Avenue, Kirsten Sutt, owner applicant, replace windows and doors, pin number 2618052711694. HDC 21-23, 49 West Main Street, GDW LLC owner, Tabitha Harkin applicant. Is someone getting a lot of interference there?
Yeah, somebody needs to mute themselves.
Yeah, someone needs to mute their microphone. Okay. HDC 21-24, 3 Pearl Street LLC owner applicant, install compressors and line sets, pin number 2619183178086. HDC 21-25, 3 Water Street LLC owner applicant, signage, pin number 291918308781. HDC 21-26, 2 Prospect Street, Stephen Casella owner, Wayne Garrick applicant, exterior renovations, deck and driveway, pin number 2619171052990. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meetings calendar, or it can be attended by visiting www.zoom.us. Webinar ID 89202935231, password 275207, or by phone 1312-626-6799. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut. Dated the 7th day of May, 2021 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary. Okay, so our first hearing will be on HDC 21-24 Latham Street. Eva Marie Hildebrand. Is Ms. Hildebrand here? Or William Biden, the applicant? Okay, well, we'll move on to the next item and we'll revisit this on the assumption that one or the other of them will show up later. HDC 21-21, 9 Park Place, Jamie Masterson, owner applicant, restore front porch. Is Jamie here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, great. Okay, Jamie. So you're going right to a public hearing. I don't think we've heard from you before on this. So you introduce yourself and then just go right through and tell us what you're asking to do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Masterson, 9 Park Place, and I'm looking for approval to restore our front porch back to its original look. It has a lot of rot and isn't really safe at this point.
Okay, so we'll, Peter will scroll through these. You describe what we're looking at and what you're intending to do. I mean, that's your house. Is that your house there?
Yes, yeah. So what happened is we took down there was a hedge across the front, and we knew that there was some damage, but when we took it out, it was much worse than we thought. So we thought we were going to replace a couple of boards, and it looks like we have to pretty much take most of it down and replace it all.
So is your intention to replace it like for like? I mean,
Exactly. Yes.
exactly what we're looking at, the same
Yep.
basic materials.
Same materials. The only thing that we possibly might change is we may get rid of the concrete steps and change them to wood, matching the rest of the porch.
Okay, well,
So
You
this
sort of-
one here, you can see the contractor was showing like the footings even collapsing there.
yeah. Okay, so you don't have any actual drawings, is that correct?
I don't. We just want to make it look exactly the same as it is now, just new and safe.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone else on the commission, but if in fact you are replacing what is there with the same thing that is already there, and the materials are the same,
Mhm.
then I don't suppose we really need any drawings. However, if you intend to replace the front concrete steps, you need to tell us that that's what you intend to do. And are there some wooden steps that we can look at on these?
That's it right there. That's just a random picture that I pulled off of the web of an idea that we could do. I mean, we can stick with the concrete if it's going to be a problem. I just thought that the wooden steps would look nicer, and they're probably more along the lines of how it originally looked.
So I agree with you. So what was that, fir flooring
Or
on
granite.
fir flooring on the deck that was there that we were looking at
Fir.
before?
Fur is what's there, and that's what we would replace it with.
And so in the case of the steps, you would replace the treads with fir treads, is that correct?
Correct. And again, we don't have to replace them. I just thought it would probably look
Well-
better and be more like the original
Well,
house.
I think you'd be better off replacing them. I think it'll look better.
I agree.
So I guess what I'm saying is that if we vote on this and we approve it, then you are agreeing to replicate exactly what we're looking at in these photographs.
Yes, that's my intent.
Same materials as were used previously. So that's what you intend to do?
Absolutely.
Okay, any comments from the commission? No? Okay, then HCC 21-21 is closed. Does anyone in the audience want to speak in favor of this application? Anyone opposed? Okay, HDC, and we'll vote at the end of the meeting. Jamie, you can stick around or not. It's up to you.
Okay, if I don't stick around, how do I find out?
You will receive a letter from the Department of Planning and Development telling
Okay,
you
Or
what
you
the vote
can
is.
call tomorrow.
okay.
You could call Linda up and ask her.
I'm sorry, I was accidentally muted. I just wanted to confirm that you're going to use the same balusters and pillars are all it's going to look exactly the same.
It
Right.
is, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Don.
All right.
Okay, HDC 21-22, 50 West Mystic Avenue, Kirsten Sutt, owner applicant. Is Kirsten here?
Hello, yes, Kirsten is here.
Okay, Kirsten, why don't we go ahead and introduce yourself and your address, and then please tell us what you're requesting.
Certainly. Good evening, everybody. My name is Kirsten Sutt. I am the owner of 50 West Mystic Avenue. The project that is going to be starting in June is a kitchen renovation, and the kitchen renovations will impact some of the exterior of the home. So this evening, I am requesting, I'm going to show you this evening the proposed windows that are going to be changed. We are closing in a door and putting in a door in the back of the house. So that is what we're going to be discussing this evening. So yes, that is the property. So what you have here is the existing windows and the rear elevations of the home. And the next screenshot should be the proposed windows on the kitchen side. And then there'll be a new kitchen door in the back of the house. So what you are seeing here is the current back of the house. The window that is on the left will be replaced by a door. These are the kitchen windows now. They're going to be replaced. That window that you see in the little corner, that is going to be replaced like for like.
Can you see the back of your house from anywhere?
The back of the house, maybe a little bit from 215,
Okay.
but I wanted to include it in the discussion this evening,
Okay,
just in
okay.
case. And then what you are seeing here is the current door to the kitchen. This does face the street. And this is the door that is going to be walled in and then cedar shingled over, just like what you see now. And then scrolling down, you will see a sample of the proposed patio door. And then there should be the windows in the next slide.
No, the windows weren't provided,
Oh, the windows weren't provided, but
just vinyl clad.
they're vinyl clad windows, casement windows. Thank you.
They're casement windows,
Yes,
but you're replacing double hung windows, right?
Yes.
yes.
And are these casement windows that look like double hung windows?
Yes.
Or are
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
All right. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to see some cuts or drawings of those windows.
Wait, are those windows aren't being seen from the street? Maybe we don't.
But I think there's some on the side that are visible, Bonnie.
Okay.
The triple mold window, that's on the side of the house, right?
If you scroll back up,
Yeah,
The ones that have been made longer.
these
those.
right there, those three, they actually face another house that blocks that view from 215.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the other commissioners think
Can
about
you
this,
go
but
back to the GIS so we could look at it on a plan? So where in the structure are we talking about here?
so
Right there.
right there where the cursor is, right there.
Okay, and then in the back.
And then in the back,
Okay,
and then that little bump out.
so you really don't. So where from 215, where would you be seeing it?
That's the issue. You
It
barely
barely-
see it.
Barely see it.
Unless you're looking for it, you don't see it.
But 215 is where now in relation?
To the left.
Probably not on this map.
That's
It's
correct.
not on that map. Yeah, so I see our neighbor's property right here where it says
Right.
647. That's my neighbor's property.
And they are on 215.
And their house faces 215.
Oh, okay, so 215 is right behind your house?
No,
No.
it's
The
over.
house kind of sits in
Oh.
a triangle between 215 and West Mystic Avenue, right across from the post office.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of a funky layout, I guess is a way to say it.
But if I was on 215 up there to the upper left from the number 75, could I not look from 215 in at the side of your house there?
I apologize, Todd, the train just went through. Can you repeat that, please?
Oh, sure. Okay. If 215 is in the upper left-hand corner of this GIS drawing, is that correct?
yes.
Correct.
So if I were on 215, could I not look between these two houses, 1792 and 1647, and see the side of your house?
If you are actually stopped there,
Yeah,
yes, but
possibly.
you're not stopping there. The stop sign's at the end of West Mystic.
But if I was walking,
Yeah, possibly. There is a
A
little
slight
walkway
chance.
between the two fences. Like a person can walk through it.
He's talking about if you're walking on 215.
Yeah, if you are walking on 215, you might be able to see through that little spit of land that goes through the two fences of the two properties of my
Because there's
neighbor.
hedges on each side of the fence.
Yeah, there are hedges on either side.
I guess I'm a little disoriented. What is directly across the street from your driveway? Is that the post office?
That is the post office, the West Mystic Post Office. So,
So you bought Sarah's house?
No,
no.
Oh, where's that?
Sarah, which Sarah?
Sarah, which Sarah? There's two in our triangle.
Oh. Well, that doesn't matter. I've
So
just.
I bought the Cannon's property, Bill and Pam Cannon's property,
6
which
years
is
ago.
6 years ago, across from West Mystic Post Office.
I think we should assume that you can see it from a public way and just go forward.
Okay,
yeah, which means that we really are going to need to see some specifications or drawings or whatever that show the windows. Especially in the sense that because you're replacing double hung windows with casement windows, it's not that you wouldn't necessarily get approval for that, but we're really kind of, given that we think you probably can see this from some public way. And quite honestly, if there are trees and whatever that block your view, that doesn't matter. The assumption has to be that there is no obstruction. So I think we're just going to need a little bit more detail on the windows because we don't have any.
If we were to
Okay.
replace the double hung with double hung, would you need to see them?
Yes.
Yes, if you're,
okay,
we always have to show cuts and drawings of any windows that you're putting in.
okay.
Ask me if you chose.
Can I share? I do have a sample right now, but I don't know if that would help the conversation.
Well, whatever we vote on has to be part of the record.
Okay,
So if you could show it to us, which, is fine, but that won't advance the process, unfortunately.
okay.
I'm afraid you're going to have to come back, and I apologize for that, but we're
And just one other question, what are you going to do with the step that's going to the door that you're going to cover over?
At this point, we're just going to leave it.
Okay.
You can barely see that from the street.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, if you wanted to get rid of it, we wouldn't have a problem with it. If you wanted to leave it, we wouldn't have a problem with that either. You just sort of have to tell us, that's all.
Okay, so all that's really needed is samples of the windows, some more details about the windows. It sounds like there's not an issue with walling up this door and is that correct?
I don't know, anyone in the commission have any comments on that, closing the door off? She's basically moving the door to the back of the house, right? The access
That's
to the
correct.
kitchen, yeah.
That's correct.
No, I don't,
I don't have any trouble with that.
Bill, you're muted, just to let you know.
Yes, I know, but I'm in 2 meetings right now, so I don't want you guys to
okay.
have to listen to the other meeting I'm in. So, but yes,
Okay,
that's why I'm giving hand signals.
okay.
But
Oh,
I'll,
but you're-
I'll unmute when necessary. But
your video was off too, Bill, so, as far as we were concerned, you were gone. Okay, so if you guys wouldn't mind, just put that information together and then get it to Linda as quickly as possible. I would say really in the next 2 days or so, I would get it in and submit it. 'Cause
Absolutely.
And what would the
Okay.
next steps be after we did that?
You would come back our next meeting will be the first Tuesday of June.
Okay,
And you would just come back and go through this public hearing process again with the additional information.
I
okay.
think it would be helpful if you take a picture from 215.
Yeah, good point, Bonnie.
Okay,
And maybe a map that shows more than just your lot, but actually shows a little bit more of the neighborhood to
Yeah,
orient
I
us better.
You guys
I
have
pulled,
that.
I pulled it up. I know where you are now.
Okay.
I was
All right.
thinking,
So do
Okay.
you need a map? You guys have
So,
that.
so you don't need the map, is
You
that
have
correct?
maps.
No, it has to be in the record. So you have to put it into the record.
See, that's the only map we have, but it doesn't show 215.
Okay.
just
All right.
blow it out a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much.
thank you. Okay, HDC 21-23, 49 West Main Street, GDW LLC owner Tabitha Harkin is
Todd,
Harkin here?
can I
Yes.
interrupt for one
Sure.
moment?
Yes.
Sorry. The first applicant just phoned me, Eva Marie.
Yes.
She was on the phone and didn't know how to let you know she was on the phone. So
Okay.
she should be calling in again. I asked her just to call in and to like hang in there for us.
Okay. But she hasn't called in
Nope,
again.
I see that. Okay. All right,
You want me to go forward and then you'll let me know, Linda, when she calls in?
absolutely.
He
Okay,
is-
thanks.
There's one phone call that's in listener mode, but it's on, I asked them to unmute themselves and they haven't unmuted themselves.
Okay. Yeah, they don't know how to do that. I don't.
Raising her hand now.
Okay.
I'm asking her again to unmute. She's got to press the *6 button.
Okay. Just if you make her aware of that, Peter, maybe.
Hello, do you hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
Yes, is that Miss
I'm very
Hildebrand?
sorry. I don't know what happened before. We've been on the line.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to HDC 21-24 Latham Street, Eva Marie Hildebrand, owner, William Biden applicant. So go ahead and.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. William Biden's going to talk, and I'm right here.
Okay, so you were here 2 weeks ago, correct?
Yes.
So-
Yes.
Okay, so have you revised your application or you changed it? It had to do with the appearance of the shed, I believe, is what we were talking about, right?
Yeah, what it was, it was new for us, and it wasn't clear. So we didn't know the stop, continue, so it's a continuation.
Okay,
So I'd like to explain myself, and Linda's got some photographs. So I'd like to say, first of all, am I speaking too loud?
no, you're good.
Okay, so I'd like to say hi all. As you know, I'm here tonight to get permission to install a shed at 4 Latham Street. I have identified 2 existing sheds in town that have been already approved by this board. I plan to install a similar shed to these 2, knowing that this design already meets the requirements of the historical district. Which is the Doro temp material.
That's a shed on Water Street, correct?
Yes. That's around the corner from us.
Mm-hmm. And you have another shed? You have another photo?
That was over on, right there. How about the shed next door?
That's down across the street from, that's on the Noank Road there. That's near
Yeah,
the post- that's near the post office.
Right, it's in the historical district.
Yeah.
They were both approved.
Okay, you want to go back to your photograph of your shed?
Oh, yeah, same material. Ours are getting rid of the shutters, wood trim, and then the doors, the little 45s are going away. That's be wood trim. And the corners which right now that corner is like a plastic. That's gonna be wood, 4 corners. And all painted white. And, yep,
And so scroll up, Peter, to that one on Water Street for a second.
yep.
Is that texture 111 on that?
Looks like it.
When was that put in, Todd, though? 10 years ago?
No, that shed was put in much more recently than that, Eric.
Did it come before the commission?
Yeah, he came before the commission. Because came back a little, he came back in the last year to do a deck addition behind his house. That's across the street from my office.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did the house like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, Ruta did the house about 10 years ago or so. It was a total remake on the house.
That almost looks like, I don't know. It doesn't really look like T11 because they're all the same size width. Let's see the other one.
The other one, you can only see the back of it.
Whether or not we did approve it, I still have the feeling we just shouldn't be approving it going forward.
Yeah, I don't think we should either.
Don?
It's not complicated to put clapboard or board and batten or anything else.
I thought the last time you were here, sir, that you were going to get a price to do a different siding.
Yeah, I did. $500 to put the cedar siding. That's just to buy it. Probably another $500 to put it on. And the guy that where they make the sheds, they don't do that anymore.
Well, of
They
course,
said
go ahead.
I guess they come up from Lancaster. Well,
Of course, you know, Eric, you could put battens on the texture 111.
vertical battens,
Yeah.
and that's good.
Well, I'm not sure you'd be able to distinguish what it was at that point.
Right. Well, another thing too, Todd, I guess. So the shed's 70 feet from High Street, and actually there's a tree there, and you're only going to see the front of the shed really, and 70 feet basically from Latham Street. And you know, from 70 feet away, all painted white, you might not even see that seam that's going down on that door, whatever it is, that T11 plywood.
T111.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can understand what you guys are trying to do, and I agree with you. You're trying to keep things, you know, historical around here, and that's fine. And I look at the historical outbuildings thing here, and they talk about vertical board, batten, wood shingles, siding. It's all right here. I mean, you have a lot of other materials that I've heard, AZAC and other stuff you guys have since then have recognized. So I don't see any of that listed here.
Well, I just want to say the AZAC, you can't tell the difference between that and wood siding. You can tell the difference between wood siding or shingles and T11. I mean, it's.
So you can tell that shed down on Water Street, you can tell that's T11 or plywood?
Honestly, I don't think we should be approving any of these prefab sheds. I think people should have to come with something that's a little more in keeping with the different outbuildings of the area and the time periods. That's my opinion. But the reality is you're not going to do that. So I think if anything, though, we should at least try to limit the materials. That's my opinion.
Well,
So
so
the guy,
go ahead.
the guy down in Lancaster don't seem to want to do any of this extra stuff. to what I could see. And I'm getting kind of up there in age, and geez, I'm getting to where I don't know how much I can really do. But, yeah. But, I mean, for 70 feet away, I don't know, can you really see those vertical lines, or maybe put batten on it? I don't know. Make it
Well,
look like.
I mean, it's my personal opinion that if you put battens over the top of the recessed, the grooves in the T111, that it would be virtually
Right.
indistinguishable from a board and batten siding. From 30 feet or from 70
Yeah,
feet.
I'd agree with that.
So, yeah, somebody did mention on your board batten last time. We had the, I think Eric mentioned siding, and somebody else mentioned batten, I thought.
Board and bat.
Vertical.
Yeah, it was that shed, the other shed that was up on High Street, I think, that we had a picture of that night. There was a sample.
Oh,
Next door,
well, I'm trying to think what shed she's talking about. Wait a minute.
the next door shed, we see from our yard. is
It
High
was
Street
an
shed.
application the same night.
Oh, they had Dutch siding. That's not available anymore. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think at this point, you can make a decision to either proceed with your application as it's presently configured, and we will vote on it, or you can, for example, offer to put battens on each one of on the texture 111 once it arrives at your property. So you can make a decision one way or the other, and then we will
Right.
vote on it.
We'd be happy to batten. We'd be happy to put the batten on there if that's what you guys can agree to.
Okay, any other comments from anyone else?
Well, the only other comment I had was, what would be the list of, all the approved materials that you could use besides the ones on page, Roman numeral 238 in your, historical outbuilding page? And it don't really go into detail, on that.
Well, I mean, I think that, obviously you could put clapboard up, you could put cedar shakes, you could do board and
Right.
batten. Those three basic materials or styles, what those are composed of, whether AZEK or pine or cedar or whatever is
You
somewhat
could go to the
fungible.
mill and get wood and put on there with the sawmill wood too. 1/2 inch wood. If you wanted to, right? Rustic.
Rough saw,
Sounds like-
that might be acceptable, yeah.
Huh?
That might be. It's just that the texture 111 is a grooved plywood. I mean, it's a particular kind
Rustic.
of finish. Well,
It's rustic.
it might be rustic after takes a beating in a storm, but not particularly so initially. So, so anyway, so you just let us know how you want to characterize the application, and then we'll close the hearing on this, and then when we get to it, we'll vote. So just tell me what you want.
Can we, right, can I put the batten on it?
Is that what?
Yeah, I'll put the vertical batten on each one of those seams.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Do we have to know what he's gonna use, what material, or? does
Well,
it matter?
batten, whatever batten is, I mean, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch or whatever it is, 1/4 inch, to cover up the,
Okay,
seams going down and paint it white.
Is there a list of materials with this application?
it's a stock shed.
It's a-
Yeah. It's from Fleming's. It's a Fleming's shed.
Your typical
Yeah,
batten is 3/4 inch.
3/4 inch
Yeah,
batten?
3/4 inch. It's 3/4 inch. It's the same thickness as your corner boards on this here. And it would be
Okay,
the same
so-
same thickness or depth as the trim around your doors.
Okay, so the batten's 3/4 inches wide, you're saying?
No, thick. And
Oh,
probably
okay,
two-
3/4
probably two-
inches?
Yeah, probably 2 inches, 1.75 wide.
1 3/4 wide?
Yeah, it's a stock piece of material you can buy.
How about inch wide? Is that okay?
No, I think an inch would not be, inch might not quite cover the groove in the texture 111.
It's got to be big enough to cover the
It's
groove.
got to cover the groove.
Yeah, I don't know how big that groove is. Quarter
I'd
inch?
say- Oh, I don't mean how deep it is. I mean how wide it is.
Yeah,
So
the
it's-
grooving. I don't know, quarter inch maybe? Sounds like an inch would cover it.
No, the typical texture 111 can have a bigger groove in it than that.
Okay.
I mean,
So
I'm comfortable.
know
I'm
what the-
comfortable. I'm comfortable if even at this point, if you agree to put a batten on, which is wider than the existing groove in the texture 111, so that it covers it, so that then what we
Okay.
look at is we look at what looks like basically what could otherwise have been a series of vertical boards with battens
Right.
covering the intersection of the vertical boards.
Right, and to use the boards, it doesn't matter, pine or whatever.
Yeah, it could probably even be AZAC.
Yeah, it could be pine if you want to keep the cost down, pine or cedar or something like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna paint it, so we're not gonna know.
We're gonna wait. Okay. So it sounds like, yeah, you want that covered up. So 1 inch, it might even be wider than 1 inch. I don't know yet. Right.
Wide enough to cover the groove.
Yeah, I got 3/4 set. I got that. We got that.
I mean, you don't want to put a extremely narrow batten on it. I mean, if you go look at a standard house with board and batten, just copy whatever they have. Battens
Yeah,
tend to be
it might
pretty,
be and a half, right?
huh?
Maybe inch and a half, maybe?
Yeah, I would say 1.5 inches, 1 3/4.
Okay. I'll have to look at one of the other sheds. Yep. I think there's some around too.
Okay. Any other comments from the commission?
No, I think that's, there's a lot of work I gotta do. I gotta get stone in here and all that other stuff. So, yeah, I guess we're good with that. So we'll have the wood trim all the way around.
Okay. Any other commission members have any comments?
Oh,
Would anyone in the audience like to speak in favor of this application? Anyone like to speak in
Well,
opposed?
just so we're
John.
clear, are we like approving it with the suggested changes, or are we saying he
Yes,
has
he-
to come back?
not suggested.
He is saying he's gonna put battens on the grooves in the texture 111 of what I'm gonna characterize as a standard size batten, and that is a pretty generic material,
All right, so that would be in the approval.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
we'll add that to the approval, Don. Good point. Okay, any audience opposed to this application? Okay, HDC 21-20 is closed. Now, where was I? Was that I in HDC 21-23? Tabitha Harkin?
Yes.
Yes, that's me. Sorry. Hi.
Okay, you're there. Okay, well, go ahead, Ms. Harkin, and introduce yourself, and you can tell us what you're planning to do.
Sure. My name is Tabitha Harkin. I'm the Community and Neighborhood Planner for the Department of the Office of Planning and Developmental Services at the town of Groton. And what we're doing is we are continuing on our wayfinding strategy. I don't know if some of you have already seen some of the signs around town. The blue signs with the orange stripe on them are part of a wayfinding plan. So we will have a family of different wayfinding signs throughout the town of Groton. And this is one of the signs and locations that we hope to refurbish with the new stylized standard. So it's an existing sign that's in front of Bank Square Books downtown. And it's an interpretive sign now. And what we're looking to do is to refurbish it with the new style and put a little kind of New England style clapboard roof, shingled roof on top of it. And so there's drawings, right? So you have the picture there that's circling the existing sign. And then I think the next, yeah, that's also the existing conditions. And then that's the proposed sign, which is in development right now. We're working with the designers on that, but we wanted to come before you and talk about it. And we have the owner's approval.
So Tabitha, does the existing sign stand off of that wall that it's up against?
Yeah, it's just slightly up, offset from the wall. So it's not attached to the wall. It's freestanding.
It is freestanding. So you're going to use the same basic same sign structure that's there, and just, or are you going to do a whole new sign?
Nope, we're going to use the same sign structure. I think the poles might get swapped out for something a little beefier, but there's some constraints in that area that we felt it just made more sense to work with the existing sign.
And what, is there something wrong with the old one?
It's just, it's not in this style family.
Not
So
in the scheme,
different
okay.
colors. And,
Yeah, okay, good.
and we've been also, I should mention, we've been working with the Mystic Chamber of Commerce on the sign, and it's a kind of a partnership project.
You know, I have never noticed that sign.
Oh, I noticed it. It's got lots of good info on it.
I have never looked at that sign.
Todd, I'm with you. But anyone who visits Mystic sees the sign. But if you're a local who goes by it 100 times, you never see it. I agree with
I'm
you.
a local and I go by it. I see
But
it.
I talked to Bruce Flax about it, and he's very, just from a chamber point of view, he spoke about it's kind of a branding that it's going to keep, just keep it consistent with the other signs that are within the community.
Well, I mean, I think that the sign is much more attractive with the roof. Is that a metal roof on there? Or what is it made out of? Yeah, it is. It's standing seam roof. Okay. It's a
Yeah,
metal roof.
standard seam metal roof.
Well, I might notice it with that roof on it, Bill.
Maybe.
I've noticed it, so I've actually read what it says.
It looks like a good improvement.
Yeah, it does to me too.
Do we need those specification about the poles, or whether they're going to change them or not?
Says it on the left.
I think
Yeah,
it
it
has it all listed, and they're gonna be white, which will be nicer.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like you're replacing the poles. It looks like tube steel. I don't know what's there now, but it looks fairly detailed. So I don't think you're gonna have any issues with the commission on this.
Nope, looks good.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Just a question, not so much in reference to this one, but would they have to come back for what's on the sign?
No, it changes.
Well,
Yeah,
no, I'm curious only because you get a sign approved, and then if you change the look of the sign, you have to come back, or is it just the size of the sign that matters?
Well, that's an interesting question, Eric. I think the easy answer is heaven forbid. But by rights, I suppose you could put up a sign of anything. You could change it to anything, like a picture of who knows what. But it's a constantly changing sign. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's an info sign.
No, that's why I wasn't so curious with this one. I just noticed
This one should just be a map, not to interrupt, but it's really just a couple of maps and some interpretive information.
Oh no, I think your sign's great. Don't worry about your sign. I just happen to be getting.
He's asking bigger picture.
No, I was getting a sandwich. Excuse me.
I think, Eric, you're talking about a building advertisement sign.
No. I was getting. I remembered this because it came up. We had a lengthy conversation about the sign where the old Grossman's used to be next to Mystic Market.
Yeah.
And we went back and forth on it. And Don, I remember you had some concerns about it. And then the sign that's up there is the same size, but like all the lettering and everything that's on it is all different. And I just was curious, is that, I mean, do you get approval for the sign and then you can put what you want on? I don't know. I just was
No, I think we've approved the actual lettering and
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
They should have come back for another approval, probably.
That one changed everything. So I was just curious.
I think it's that historic district, the things that you can regulate is the style, the material, the size, and the location.
But I think in answer to Eric's question, if someone got a sign approved with a particular font and color and whatever, and then someone took the sign that was the same outside dimensions, but changed all that, they would have to come back.
I agree with that.
I
Well,
mean,
what
is
comes
the
in-
sign down there by Mystic Market, is it different from the one we approved, Eric?
Yeah, I just noticed it because there was like a bunch of different names on it. So
That's Jeff Valentine?
yeah. I mean, it looks great. I don't have any objection to it. It made me think with this. I mean, does the town need to come back and like show us what's going to be on it? Not that I would have any objection to anything, you know.
I think they're gonna take care of the zoning approval.
Anyway, but it doesn't concern this poor woman who's trying to get.
No, your sign's great. I just did raise the question, so I don't know if you want to talk about it later.
Okay, that's a good idea. Well, all right, any other comments from the commission? Would anyone like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? Okay, HDC 21-23, 49 West Main Street is closed. HDC 21-24, 3 Pearl Street, 3 Pearl Street LLC, owner applicant, install compressors. Someone here from 3 Pearl Street LLC?
Hello, I am Spiros Barris.
Spiros.
Hey, Todd.
Okay, how are you? Go ahead and introduce
Good.
yourself and tell us what you're planning to do.
Spiros Barris, owner of 3 Pearl Street in downtown Mystic, which is right across from the Harp and Hound. There's 2 storefronts on the street. Right now they have AC units that sit right above the front doors of the store. They've been there for many, many years. And we'd like to install Mitsubishi compressors for air conditioning and supplemental heating. And the only place to put the units is on the side of the building, I think the details are in what I submitted, but about 50 feet back, hidden sort of in a corner with the lines coming up the side of the building and through a small window on the side of the building.
There's going to be 2 of them.
Yes, because there's 2 stores and they would have, obviously they would need their own unit to have their own
Okay.
control of each heating and cooling unit.
Can we see on the Peter, the plan where they are?
I can't see what you're looking at, but I
Is there
did
a
submit.
GIS plan? Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Where are we? Oh, so wait, is Pearl Street is right there to the right? Yeah, right on the street.
I think so.
It's hard to tell.
Well, he's across from the Harp and Hound, so he would be on that side of the street. He's clearly not to the left, so Spiros,
It's gonna be
it's
kind of tucked in.
there's the side of the building, that's the north side of the building where the compressors are going, correct?
Correct.
And so it's brick, it comes back to the point where it's brick and then it steps in and it's clapboard or like that, right there.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
that's Pearl Street out there to the left. behind.
Yeah, that's a Harp and Hound across the street.
So they're tucked into the little alcove there, such as it is, because the brick is wider than the rear
Right,
portion.
right. Yep.
And where are you gonna run the lines?
So the lines will go up the side of the building that you don't see, the corner that's tucked away.
Next to
And
the
then-
downspout?
Exactly. Yep. And then the side, the little bit that you will see is going to go directly across to that window that's on the side of the building and in through there.
Wait,
It's about 2 feet.
which window?
It's in the picture, but there's a small window on 2 feet in from the corner.
Oh, that in the brick.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So the line set is going to go horizontally towards the street? Or is it going to go up the side of the building and then come horizontally across into the window?
So it would go vertically up on the side that you do not see,
Yeah.
and then horizontally across the 2 feet of the side that you do see and into the window.
And into the window in what context? In other words, what are you going to do? Remove a pane of glass?
Yeah, it's I believe 3/3. And so we would remove 1 pane of glass. Right now, there was one of the panes is boarded up anyway because there was sort of an exhaust fan coming out of there for many, many years. So we're just going to use that same opening.
Well, I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious when you look at the side of the building. I mean, we have obviously allowed line sets to go up the sides of houses. I don't know if you've done any brick buildings yet, and I don't know if you've done any horizontal ones. And I'm also a little dubious about it going across the face of the brick and then doing a 90 into the window opening. I'm just not quite sure what that's going to look like, Spiros.
Right. That's what the contractor wanted to do.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Right. I mean, in other words, it's doable. What it
Well,
looks like.
Well,
Yeah.
why don't you consider going up the side of the building there and punching a hole through the brick? Can you go in right there without going around the corner and through the window?
You know, I didn't ask him that. You would probably have more experience with that. If it's doable, I don't think it's a big deal to punch through the brick.
I mean, it's not that big a deal. I just think that way the entire line set array would be hidden behind the return on the brick.
You
Okay.
just drilled through my brick and put in a new oil line because I had to get move the oil tank.
I just sort of
Yeah.
see, I just think it might just look rather odd, this
Big hole.
line set with a cover on it, coming across and then 90 degree in through the window.
Yeah. No, I agree. I understand. Yeah, I think going through the brick is a better idea.
I mean, is that one of the stores are side by side on the street, right?
Correct.
And so this is but the stores go all the way to the back of the building, or are those apartments in the back or something?
The stores go all the way to the back of the brick part of the building.
And
So
that's
what
the
would
end of
happen
the
is when
store.
the line sets come in the first store, they would run across the back of the first store into the second store
Inside.
inside.
And is that line, are both the line sets going through that window or just one?
Both.
They're both going through that window.
Yeah.
So there'd be 2 line sets coming. Yeah, well, that's even worse. I
Yeah.
mean, I would definitely, I think you may want to come back and see us with another sketch
Yeah.
and maybe a few more photographs to get us a little bit more perspective, Spiros, because we're looking at these fairly confined little shots. Like, really would like to see a shot from the street, looking at the north side of the building.
And up where it's going in.
Yeah, and it,
I believe that's what I sent you. With a yellow marked photograph with the compressors and the line going up the side of the building.
well, we have a yellow mark. We're looking at a photo. You say you can't see what we're looking at, but we're looking at a photograph of the side of the building. It shows the clapboard rear, or whatever it is, the material, and it shows 2 yellow squares that denote the location of the condensers.
Right.
But there's no, I don't see any drawing on here that shows the line set. I
Right.
see the downspout.
Right.
And
There's no line coming from the compressors showing the path that would have taken. It's just
Well, where it's going in at the window.
right.
Right. So Peter mentioned that to me and I sent it to him, I believe, yeah, it was probably this morning.
Yeah, that's a little late.
You got to get it in a week ahead of time.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
why that's.
I mean, the
that's
line
not-
sets are, the lines are just going up the side of the building that you won't see alongside the gutter there that you do see and punch through the brick as you suggest. That's all it would, I mean, there's not a whole lot to draw there, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, what are the thoughts of the other commission members in terms of? if
I
Mr.
still would like a shot from Pearl Street, looking back at this location.
The shot I sent you with the two yellow boxes as the
It's
compressors is.
from the
is a-
back of your property, not.
No,
Pearl
no, it's from Pearl Street,
Well, not the one
looking
we're
down the
looking at.
neighbor's
Not the
driveway.
one we're looking at.
What's the other photograph, Peter? The next one underneath this. That just shows the brick, and where I'm looking at the Harp and Hound there across the street, but I'm looking from the west, looking east. So
I'm
that
certain that
photo-
the one photo I sent you is from the sidewalk on Pearl Street, looking down the sort of the neighbor's driveway and the side of the building.
We don't have
With-
that one,
It's
unless
not
there's
here.
more, Peter.
No, we got the one that's looking back towards the Harp and Hound from the
Yeah.
location.
Both of them look at the Harp and
It's
Hound.
looking at Pearl Street from that location, not from Pearl Street looking back the other way.
I'm certain I sent that with the first application to Peter, but can I resend it to you before the meeting's over?
No,
I mean,
No,
you
'cause
can send
you
it to us,
can-
but
you
it
can,
can't
but
be
it's-
entered into the.
it's not in the,
Meeting.
unfortunately, Spiros, it's not in the record, so I apologize for that, but I really think that you should take those other photos and show us a perspective from Pearl Street, looking back the other way. And then what it's recommended that you do is, if you submit those photos, I mean, you'd have to be postponed or continued to the next meeting. But what you want to do is you want to speak to Linda, and then when you finish submitting those photos, you want to go, and it would probably be the Friday before the meeting the next Tuesday, and she would be able to let you look at what is in the submission, and you can make sure that everything that you wanted in there is there.
Well, is Peter the planner? I'm not sure I have the right name, Tom or Peter?
Tom
Tom.
is the planner who's sort of in charge, as I understand it, with putting the submission together, and Linda helps him out with that.
Right. So I did send it to Tom and I confirmed with him both by email and by phone that he had all the information. I'm not sure what happened there.
This is the complete package that was emailed to everyone on Friday.
Okay,
So this is the one that was sent out on Friday, and I told everyone to take a look at it, make sure everything's in there that needs to be in the meeting.
okay. Is there some way I can see what you're looking at?
You should be able to see it. It's on
You
the
should be able
screen.
to see it, Spiros.
I see all the members' faces.
But you don't see the photos.
No.
I'm not sure. That may be a function of
Oh,
operator
yeah,
error.
I do here. I see the photos.
Okay.
Let me see what happened here.
There's only two photos. Peter can scroll up and down between them. There's
Yeah, I
this
see the-
photo, and then there's another photo down that's it right there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is missing. You're right, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I apologize for that, or for whatever happened or didn't happen, but I think if you come back and give us the photos we're talking about, and then what we really need for evidence is to take that drawing that shows those two compressors, Spiros, which is the drawing above this photo, or the photo, and go up the wall with a yellow line, if you like, and show us where the two line sets are going to go through the brick.
Okay,
That way we've got it in our record, in our
Right.
evidence of what we actually approved.
right, okay.
All right.
All right, yeah, will do.
All right. Thank you, Spiros.
All right, thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
And members, thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Todd, are we going to continue this?
Yeah,
officially?
we're gonna continue it.
Yeah, okay. Do we need a motion or?
Well, we
wait.
can continue it now, but there's two we were supposed to continue, I think, right? Or was just one?
Yeah,
All right. We have a motion to continue through HCC 21-25 3 Water Street.
I see Bill saying yes, and I'll second.
Okay, we'll do a roll call for all in favor. Levinson,
Aye.
Nault. You're muted.
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Goodman.
Sorry, I muted, I clicked out. What are we voting on?
We're voting on continuing this most recent hearing.
The Pearl Street?
Yeah,
Oh, aye, sorry.
okay. Brady, aye. Okay, the motion passes.
Wait, you said Water Street.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what caught me off guard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was moving on to the next one. 3 Pearl Street.
Can we back up for a minute? I missed the motion. Who made it? Who seconded?
Bill
Bill
made it.
and Don second.
I made the motion to continue this to another time.
To 3 Pearl Street.
Yeah.
And I seconded it.
No,
And it was,
Thank you.
it
it
was
was-
Water Street that they said. You said.
I said water, I meant to say Pearl Street, so it's
Okay.
corrected. It's Pearl Street, sorry.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, HCC 21-25, 3 Water Street LLC owner applicant, signage. Mr. Goodman,
So I'll recuse myself from voting, but this is the signage for the front of the building and the signage for unit 103, which is on the right side of the building facing SIFT. And they're just hand painted wood signs. So I marked where they're going and the sizes should be on the sheets following.
There's gonna be one sign.
Just one sign. In that little upper triangle in the middle of the building. And then that's the sign on the side to the left of the door. On the right side of the building facing SIFT.
so on the
Sorry,
south side of the building, right, Eric?
Yep.
I didn't see where the first one's going.
Go back up to Peter. Yeah, right there. In that triangle.
Oh,
Excuse me.
okay.
It actually shows it on the original drawings we had sent in for approval. It's just now been refined and measured correctly. So if you go up again. Yeah, well, can't see it because you got to zoom way in, but
It's right where that arrow is there. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
there it is.
Okay. All right.
and then the other one, if you go down to the right on the same page. Yep, it's right there.
Okay.
So there's only gonna be one sign on the side. I thought there was gonna be a lot of commercial offices.
There are, so the plan is to, if you can zoom back out or go up, Peter. Up, a little bit up. If you look at that panel in the bottom right of that top left elevation, there's a larger panel to the right of the stairs. On the bottom, Peter, if you want to just scroll over that below the double windows. Nope, nope, other way. Go back. Look at the stairs. Nope, 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 up. Sorry. Put your cursor on the stairs, Peter. And then go to the panel to the right, the wood panel farther to the right, 2 inches, a little more, down. So the plan is to come back and add signage there for each of the 6 commercial spaces, as well as have a sign next to their door. But that hasn't been determined yet.
So you just come back when those signs are
Correct.
ready to go.
So, but besides the sign on the building of the name of the building and then that signage, there shouldn't be anything else visible except for the signage on the side of the doors when they come to you for approval.
So you already had that approved, but what's changed?
Well, the standard name or the sign for the building was put into the renderings, but it was never finalized.
Oh,
So
okay.
I guess,
So
technically it
this
was
is the first time the sign itself is coming.
Yeah.
correct, yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's what you're calling the building, the standard?
Yeah, it's from Todd's place. So Factory Square used to be the Standard Machine Company. We actually got that nameplate from. Anyways, there's a guy Atwood that used to own the Standard Machine Company. So his business card, which I had somewhere, had that the standard in the same font. So we took it from there, from 1880, was it, Todd, or something like that?
Yeah, it was when it was a wood building which burned to the ground in the late 90s, 1890s.
Yeah, I actually have his business card. Oh, here it is. So that was it, if you can see it.
Where did you get that?
Oh, I dug it up. I can give you a copy if you want.
While you were excavating at your building?
No, but I found about 100 bottles behind it yesterday.
Can we see the other sign? Okay. And do you envision the other storefronts will have something similar with the 3 water at the top and there?
Yeah, so their leases limit their signage space to that front panel when we determine the actual sizing. And then to the left of their doors has a clapboard area that's about 24 inches wide. They're limited to using that area and only that area.
Okay, all right, great.
So you're gonna end up in the next couple of meetings with 4 or 5 more of these or whatever it is.
And what is that? Is that wood or what is that?
It's painted wood.
Okay.
Is that going to be a package store? Is that what that is?
No, it's a wine and charcuterie restaurant and has a takeout component.
Oh, okay.
So it's a restaurant.
Okay.
Any other commissioners have any comments on this application?
None.
I just think that the font is completely different from what you've got on the main store to this. But that's, I'm not
Well, you're
sure
gonna
I would do that, but.
Yeah, every store that you have going in there is gonna have a completely different font.
Oh, okay,
completely
okay.
Yeah.
Because they're all different owners and
Gotcha,
different
gotcha.
entities.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Okay, would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone like to speak against this application? Okay, HDC 21-25, 3 Water Street is closed. HDC 21-26, 2 Prospect Street, Stephen Casella, owner, Wayne Garrett, applicant. Is Wayne here?
Yes, I am. Good evening.
How are you, Wayne?
Very well, thank you, everyone.
Good evening. I just want to say, I hope all your photos are in tonight.
Well, they were on Friday.
Good.
Same
Oh,
with the application.
thank you.
I think everything's complete.
Sorry about all the,
That's okay. Well, as we've discussed before, this project consists of the renovation of the existing structure into 2 one-bedroom apartments, which previously existed, and the addition of a small deck and stair to the 2nd floor unit on the south side, which eliminates the stair along the western property line. This structure was built in the late 19th century and has been subject to several renovations over the years. Many of the renovations have been inconsistent with its historic nature. More specifically, the windows, some of the interior framing. The exterior, though, in terms of its siding and obviously its roofing, its siding and details is more or less intact, but in poor condition. And the roof is now an asphalt shingle roof, which it probably wasn't back then. We are proposing to replace the existing siding with new vertical board and batten siding, which would be typical of a late 19th century utility structure. What's that? I'm sorry?
I don't know what that was, Wayne.
it's somebody in the audience that didn't mute themselves. Don't.
Oh, okay. The existing details at the gable, which I've drawn on this elevation, you can see at the top of the gable, and they're in the photographs as well, at both the eave line and also the highest point of the gable will be restored. The new windows are 6/6 windows with simulated divided lights because of the insulating glass. The roof material will be architectural shingles. And in regards to the proposed deck, It will be a wood frame, pressure treated with TimberTech vintage decking and AZAC Premier Series railing and balusters. In addition, I think if you would like to scroll up, there's a site plan. The owner proposes to install a new crushed stone driveway, which obviously will not add to any of the impervious surface along the south side of the property, where there is an existing 4-foot-high stone wall, which will shield the adjacent neighbor. The driveway is offset from the building, so headlights do not enter the apartments, and the parking areas are directed away from any neighbor and will be screened by a planting buffer. We've included this site plan as well as the proposed floor plans, elevations, photos of the various materials that will be utilized, as well as the GIS map and product literature, which I believe complies with your requirements for this application.
That's the existing building.
That's the existing east side of the building. But as you can see, there's an aluminum door, there's a picture unit, there's some casement units. That all goes away. Here on this is actually the southern gable end, but the detail work will remain at the eave lines, as I mentioned. Same at the uppermost portion of the gable. We're leaving the exposed rafter tails, and the sort of crinoline detail that goes across the gable, you'll see in my drawings, also is retained. This is the side that receives the deck, and the deck is toward the eastern part of that. This is the western elevation. That staircase goes away. The fence line represents the property line approximately. So now the adjacent neighbor, people will not be going up and down the stair or entering that unit, the second floor, from the western side, but from the southern side. This is the northern side. Same thing in terms of the southern side, in terms of restoring the details at the gable, as well as the fretwork along where the gable meets the second floor. This represents the asphalt shingle. I know you don't get into colors, but we are proposing a charcoal architectural asphalt shingle. This is a Certainty shingle landmark series. This is a photograph or a product literature photograph from indicating the decking, actually. It's if you're not familiar with TimberTech, it used to be AZAC decking, it's now TimberTech, and it's remarkably nice. It has a beautiful sort of pre-made patina to it to begin with. I don't want to say it's pre-aged, but for a composite material, it's quite striking and requires a minimal amount of maintenance. This is an example of the board and batten siding that we'll be using. Again, I know you're not concerned with colors, but we are proposing to paint the building a burgundy color with contrasting AZAC trim with a historic, each window will have an historic AZAC sill. The contrasting trim will be a color known as, of all things I mentioned before, Mystic Beige. This is an example of the window manufacturer that we're proposing. It's Harvey Windows, and it's an extruded PVC window, but it does have simulated divided lights to create the all-important shadow lines for the 6/6 window. This is an example of the railing. It's fairly standard. The post is approximately in its finished form about 5 inches by 5 inches. The balusters are actually at 1.5 inches square each. They're 2 by 2, but that would be 1.5 inches square each. This is the product literature for all of the materials that I've just pointed out to you. As you know, or may know, Mr. Casella, the owner, I'm not just saying this, he happens to be a very, very fine general contractor. And he will obviously be the general contractor for this project. I've worked with his company, Castleberry Construction, for many years, and they're known for their very high quality work. I think you can rest assured that not only are we proposing high quality materials, but it'll be executed in a very fine manner. I think those are the 2 color chips, by the way.
So, Wayne, the driveway is part of this application. I think there was a question about that last time,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, and it's crushed stone. It's not proposed to be paved or anything like that.
Okay. Anyone on the commission have any comments, questions?
I think we got it all now.
I think so.
Bonnie? Where's Bonnie?
Congratulations, that looks good.
It's good.
I wanted to thank you. I mean, Sarah, while she's not here, was very helpful. Linda was extremely helpful, as well as Tom. So you finally cover all the bases for this application.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes, the staff was most helpful.
Good. Any other comments from any other commissioners? Okay, would anyone like to speak for this application in the audience? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? Okay, HDC 21-26, 2 Prospect Street is closed. And there being no other hearings, the public portion of this meeting is closed at 8:19 on May 18th. And now we'll go back to the beginning and consider the 7 applications, less 1 that was continued. So first one is HDC 21-20. This is for Latham Street, Eva Marie Hildebrand, owner, William Biden, applicant. This was the application for the storage shed. And does anyone have any comments on this application? If you make a motion to approve this, the motion should include the provision that the applicant will install battens on top of the existing relief points on the texture 111. Any comments from the commission or motions?
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve the shed, subject to the owner installing battens over the entire width of all the gaps in the T11. And that will be part of the application.
And approval. We have a second.
Approval.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion or comments? Okay, we'll do a roll call. Ferguson?
As long as they follow everything that we shared tonight with the covering the gaps and you know, I'll say yay.
Okay. Levinson?
Aye.
Nault?
Aye.
Goodman?
No.
Brady, aye. Okay, the motion is passed 4-1. HDC 21-21 9 Park Place, Jamie Masterson, owner applicant. This is the request to restore the front porch identically with the materials and the configuration the same as existing, with the additional thing of removing the concrete steps and replacing them with like-kind steps with fir treads. Okay, any comments or from the commission?
I'll
Move to approve. Oh, sorry.
You have to make a motion.
I said I'd move to approve.
Oh, okay. I'll second it.
Any more discussion? Okay, roll call. Go ahead.
Just to make sure that it includes the steps.
Okay, so Eric, just to make sure your motion for approval.
Oh, you want me to say it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I move to approve subject to the stipulation that the steps are made out of fir.
Okay. Okay, we'll vote on
And I
that.
second it.
Okay, thanks, Bonnie. Ferguson,
Aye.
Levinson,
Aye.
Goodman,
Aye.
Noel,
Aye.
Brady, aye. Okay, the motion passes 5-0. HCC 21-22. 50, which one do we continue? 50 West Mystic Avenue, Kirsten Sutt, owner applicant. This is replace windows and doors. I think
Continued that, didn't we?
We're going to continue that.
This
because she's
one
gonna
we
come back with the
Yeah, all right.
additional pictures and the windows.
All right, so do we have a motion to continue HCC 21-22, 50 West Mystic?
So moved.
Second.
Aye. Second.
Okay, vote Ferguson.
I second the
Right, now
motion to
we're
continue.
voting on it. We're voting on it.
Oh, aye. Yep.
Okay, Goodman,
Aye.
Levinson,
Aye.
Nault,
Aye.
Brady, aye. Okay, 21-22 is continued. HCC 21-23, 49 West Main Street, GDW LLC owner Tabitha Harkin. This is the application to modify the existing wayfaring sign. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any other discussion?
I'm ignorant. What's a wayfaring sign?
That's the term they use. It shows people where they're supposed to be going.
Oh, okay.
It shows your way, Don.
All right,
It's a sailor term.
And it's a town of Groton sign term also.
Right.
Okay, so we'll vote on the application. Ferguson,
Aye.
Goodman,
Aye.
Levinson,
Aye.
Nault,
Aye.
Brady, aye. Okay, HDC 21-23 is passed. HDC 21-25, 3 Water Street. This is the application for 2 signs on the building called the Standard. Do we have a motion on this application or any discussion?
I'll make a
motion.
Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion? All right, we'll vote on this. Ferguson,
Aye.
Goodman. Oh, you're recused. Eric Goodman's recused himself. Levinson,
Aye.
Nault,
Aye.
Brady, aye. Okay, HCC 21-25 is passed. HDC 21-26, 2 Prospect Street, Stephen Casella, owner, Wayne Garrick, applicant. This is the application to renovate the second structure at 2 Prospect Street. Any discussion or comments from the commission?
I'd like to make a motion to approve this project.
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, we'll vote on the on the motion. Ferguson,
Aye.
Goodman,
Aye.
Levinson,
Aye.
Nault,
Aye.
Brady, aye. Okay, HGC 21-26 is passed. All righty, so do we have Any preliminary applications? Oh my God, it's Peter Hurd.
Yes, I'm here. Axos. May I'll only take probably about 30 seconds if I may share my screen.
Sure.
Okay. You see that all right? You can see that?
Yeah.
So those of you who've been maybe driving by following the house, we're in the process of 15 library, stripping the siding, preparing for windows, roofing, and so forth. And on the south side, the Route 1 side, we came across in the gable end this outline of an eyebrow window that was probably original to the house. So that's the center picture. The upper right picture, I knew that framing was there. That's from the inside of the attic, but never really gave it much thought until we started removing a pile of wood that was in an alcove area in the attic. And we found the window.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, a lot of the panes of glass are out and so forth, but we are considering, instead of replacing that double hung, going back to the attic.
That would be nice.
Want to get your thoughts on it.
I think that would be awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, especially since it's original, you know, I mean, that's what we're all here all about.
So that's it. And I guess I need to put in an application for that, which we're happy to do, but I want to get your initial thoughts.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great thing to do, Peter. I mean, that's quite a find.
Right? Yeah.
Just buried in the attic.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure how we're gonna frame it out on the outside. We'll take some work with the Versatech, but we'll figure it out. Dave thinks he can figure that out.
And that's on the north side of the house?
That is on the south side.
The south side. So that'd be visible from
Route 1.
west. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Very cool.
So when I'm looking at the picture to the left there, it's in the upper gable there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that'd be a terrific thing to do. So I wouldn't hesitate to come back and see us again. What the heck? You come every single week anyway.
I think you should just get on the commission.
Yeah, really. That you.
Well, maybe someday, but I do enjoy these things, and I do have a architectural degree, so
Okay.
Certainly some interest there. But anyway, I will come back with a formal application, but we'll probably start. I know you can't approve that, but we'll probably start framing it out. It's going inside the house.
Almost.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Are there any other preliminary applications?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. This is John Reiner, Director of Planning and Development for the town.
Hi, John.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, just terrific.
That's good. So I'm hoping that Chad Frost is on with me. He was trying to get in. And we wanted to talk with you tonight a little bit about the Mystic Coastal Access signage, which is different than the town's wayfinding signage program. So the Mystic Coastal Access program we've been working on since pre-pandemic, and we're looking to replace some of the access signs delineating where our coastal access area is along the coast in downtown Mystic. And I'm going to try to share my screen. Or first, Chad, are you on the call? All right, I don't think we have Chad yet. So let me see if I can try to share my screen here. See if this works. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
No. All right, maybe it's not working. Give me a minute. A little technical difficulty. So let me tell you a little bit about the project and the plan, and then hopefully Chad can jump on and assist. So again, trying to replace right now, if you walk around the coastal area in Mystic, there's those kind of typical, oh, hey, there we go. We just got the, excellent. The kind of typical, almost deep blue signs, deep, not as in like a deep blue, but DEEP, Department of Environmental Protection for Connecticut. They gave us those traditional signs identifying a coastal access area. A lot of them came down, they go missing. We wanted to create something that was a little bit more unique and identifiable through this coastal access area along the coastline. So I don't know if Pete's navigating that screen right now or if Chad got to do that.
Yep, I am navigating.
Oh, thank you, Pete. All right, Pete's my hero tonight. So as you can see, going through here, some of these areas, we are looking at along the Mystic Museum of Art property, along the, right by the drawbridge, I think some of these signs, and you can see where there's not really uniformity in identifying what some of these areas are. To the general public, it's really hard to figure out what the connection is. So if you skip to the next slide, Pete. So you can see, you know, there's trying to link those public access areas, having wayfinding signage that is consistent and through this area, and enhancing the public awareness of it. To the next slide. So we've identified where that coastal access area is, what we have now, and also what we're trying to plan to get to as time goes on. Next slide. And again, the more that we can do to enhance public access in downtown Mystic, it's going to help business. It's going to help tourism. It's going to help connecting people to what is along the coastline. Next slide. And a lot of the things that we're looking at in some of these signs were not just creating another boring sign, but something that's unique, something that really speaks to the history of Mystic. And with this one in particular that you're looking at, so all of you know shipbuilding and the knee of a ship and how that is working within the inside of the ship. So if Pete goes to the next slide, we're actually looking at how we can use that concept of a ship's knee on some of our more really outstanding signs, the ones that are going to really jump out in some key locations, whether they're on the ground or hanging on buildings. And these would be sizable signs that, you know, some identifying that coastal walkway through Mystic. And yeah, I don't want to belabor the point, but that's kind of the general design we're looking at. If you want to jump to the next slide, Pete. So, you know, one good example. So right now on the side of that building, there's just a very boring metal sign that says coastal public access. Having that ship's knee design is something that we really think will stand out and work within the historic character of downtown Mystic. Another angle and view of the same type of sign.
That is an eye-catching sign.
I like it a lot.
I dare say if that were put where the wayfinding sign were that we looked at earlier, I probably would have noticed that probably, huh?
I just want to say, I live on Pearl Street, like a block from here, and I have for 30 years. And until that article came up a couple, whatever that was, 2 years ago in the day about that path, I didn't even know that was there. So this would be awesome. I mean, the locals didn't even know it was there. So the public knowing that this is public access would be really a nice feature for downtown.
Can I ask, is that blue stripe, it says MRW, is that part of that signage proposal? Yeah, hello?
Sorry, I hit mute. The Mystic River Walk. So we're also trying to look at some color schemes that we can have. So some areas we would have that sign. In other areas, we're still trying to figure out what the best design is, whether it would be in some areas, a stripe that would be on the ground that people could follow, or on some of the columns along the walkway, the actual, the posts, that we could actually wrap the top of some of those in color, identifying some of those trickier spots that we can't necessarily put a sign like this, but we can do something else similar to the Freedom Trail in Boston.
Yeah. So if Peter, if you scroll up to one more. That's what I'm talking about right there,
Yes,
the MRW.
yes.
Because that kind of jumped out at me when I first saw this picture more than the sign did. So,
Yeah, correct. Yeah, thank you, Bill, for pointing that out. So that's part of it. And then as you'll notice, as Pete goes to the next slides, there's some of that worked into some of the other areas of what we're looking to identify. So if you look at in the background, you'll see, or below that next ship's knee sign, there's some striping on the ground. If you notice on one of the columns in the back, that we would be looking to wrap that in a vinyl, showing that, Mystic River Walk, in doing that maybe every fourth or every sixth one of those for a portion of it. So it identifies, okay, this is an area that's open for public access.
And just in my opinion, it looks a little big, the signs, in my opinion.
Those particular ones are a little big.
And we're still working on the size for those, because we want it to be something that is eye-catching and is permanent, and also something that doesn't walk away overnight. Because that is, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the issue of coastal access. And many times, and we've seen it in downtown Mystic, this area was signed much better in the past. A lot of the signs have disappeared, have fallen down. It's whether it's vandalism or people not wanting the public to be walking through their property, they just go away. And so we need to make something that's a little bit more substantial, a little bit bigger, so that it stays and it's easily identifiable.
Also, you need the size to get the info on it. I mean, if you made that any smaller, you couldn't put that map on it, or it would be like hard to distinguish, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have an issue with the size of the sign, to the extent that what you're trying to do is to make sure people see the sign. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, would somebody trip over this thing or hit a stroller into it, or it butts out like that?
So, we will obviously be working with our Public Works Department in the installation of these and following all ADA guidelines, so that it's not within the walking path or tripping hazard or anything like that for people.
I used to work for DEP. I'm just curious, is there any issue with them having to approve any of this?
They are absolutely thrilled that we're doing this program, and they're actually trying to help us out with some end of the year spending so that we can install this as a model project.
Okay.
One thing I just would point out, that was my marina that you just showed up there. The next slide, if you slide up. And the only thing I'd be a little careful about in terms of, say, wrapping any of these things is there could be some issues with lines from boats that get attached,
Yeah, they're going to destroy it.
They're going to get torn up. So you'd want, if you're going to you can also have a problem with wrapping certain piles, but you want to make sure you don't wrap one so you get lines thrown around them, because they'll get torn up pretty fast.
You see the wear on the first one right there?
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to say, John, is make sure you coordinate correctly, because otherwise it's just going to get ripped off.
Yeah, and this is something that we certainly want to coordinate a little bit more with the property owners in all these areas. Right now, we're trying to get, all of our ducks in a row, and, the Historic District Commission is obviously a big one of those things that before we move too far forward, we want to make sure that you all understand what it is we're trying to do. But I think that's a great point. We don't want to put something in an area where it's just going to get ripped up by ropes.
Yeah.
The concept's great, though.
I like it. I like the sort of appearance of the sign. I think it's a good looking sign.
All right, good. So yeah, this is that other concept. So, as we discussed, so Pete, if you want to jump to the next slide. By the Museum of Art. And then, another component that we'd be having is some type of, again, a vinyl wrap or something that we can put on the ground, such as this. So Pete, as you go to the next, along with that striping on the ground, again, some examples of things that we could do. Next slide. And this coastal access trail is certainly not complete. It is something that every time we get an application for a property in this area along the coast that is changing from a non-water dependent use, or if it's an existing non-water dependent use and is expanding or changing their use somehow, we can work with them to get further public access along the coast. Next slide, Pete.
That's it.
Okay, so any questions?
Looks great.
No, I like it a lot, especially the coloring.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I really appreciate the feedback, everybody.
Cool.
Thank you,
And
John.
all right. All right. Well, take care, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.
All right, thanks.
All right, take care.
Any other preliminary applications?
Does not look it.
Okay, public communications
Nothing to report.
on approval of the minutes for May 4th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from May 4th.
I'll second that.
Why don't we just say all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, the minutes are approved unanimously. New business, I think, well, Sarah's not here, so I guess we'll skip the election of officers. For 2023. And any other new business?
Hi, this is Richard Davis, if I'm allowed to speak.
Sure.
Okay, hi, this is Richard Davis, and I'm proposing to do a existing garage renovation at 84 Library Street in Mystic.
Oh, you're here for a preliminary hearing?
Yeah, I haven't done an application or anything, but I talked to Linda, and she said to just go on the Zoom meeting and possibly speak to you guys about what my proposal is.
Okay, yeah, that's technically would have occurred before this, but that's fine. So why don't you tell us what you're planning?
All right, yeah, we want to renovate the existing garage, and for the sake of historic probably conditions, we're only going to change the roofing shingles with the same color as existing and change siding. And we would like to use cedar impressions and paint it or get it to the same color to match the existing house with probably white AZAC corners and window trim on the few windows that are there, and as well as a new garage door, which the homeowners has picked out. And I just have a picture of, I don't have anything downloaded, but I have a picture of the garage door that she'd like to use. And again, the cedar impressions is a vinyl siding product that looks like the wood shingles that's on the main house. And there's also white 5/4 painted white trim on the existing house. So we want to make the garage look like the existing house to hopefully keep it within the parameters that you guys would like to have.
Okay, well, it certainly sounds like a reasonable application, but it's difficult for us to sort of comment.
Okay.
If we don't have any, what we really need is if you talk to Linda, which I guess you already have, she give you sheets that show you exactly what you have to show us. So a site plan, photographs of the house, the garage, the adjoining neighbors, so we can get a pretty good idea of what where we are and what this looks like. And then, for what you're going to do, either if it's just replacing the garage door and that kind of thing, photographs of the existing garage door, and then cuts from specifications showing what you're proposing to replace it with, what this cedar impression siding actually looks like, so that we can truly determine what you want to do and what it's going to look like.
Okay, yeah, I assumed as much. I would get some photos and some information, and I can just bring that stuff in and present it.
Well, what you have to do now, because all these meetings are held online on Zoom, is you have to get your full submission with all the exhibits where you can send them. I guess Linda sent them to you and they go to Tom Zanarini, who puts them together so that we can view them during the meeting.
Okay.
But if you say wanted to come to the next meeting, we've got to have that in hand pretty quickly.
Okay.
If you're coming back for a preliminary, Linda, correct me if I'm wrong. If he's coming back for a preliminary, if he got it in time, it's just so you had enough time to be able to show it to us at the meeting, or he can share it with us himself, can he not? If he had it on his computer.
Right, so pretty much for preliminaries, we'd let folks share screens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have something you want to show us on your screen tonight?
I don't actually, but again, all I have is, on my computer, all I had was the cedar impressions pulled up. And I have a picture of the garage door just in a brochure. So I don't think I could do that without showing you that with my camera on my phone. So I would be happy. When is the next meeting that I could get this information ready for?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Yeah, well, that gives me enough time. So if I can get the photos of the properties nearby and the materials I want to use, I could just have that. Now, how do I do that? Do I somehow download it to you guys?
Well, if you put it into your computer, then you can share your computer with us online.
Yeah, okay. I'm not real familiar with doing that, but I'm sure I can get some help with that.
Or you can take all the information to Linda and she can put it in the application.
Okay, yeah, it'd probably be easier for me to do that if that's okay, acceptable.
Right, Linda?
Should be bringing in the Tom. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Tom or Linda, I can just bring in photos and the material information that I need and just drop it off to you guys. Is that adequate to do?
So
Oh,
are we
and then the,
talking again about a pre-application or an application that's going to be advertised and have a public hearing?
I think he's talking about a pre-application, but he's not sure he knows how to take over and share the information from his own computer.
Right.
So in order for us to be able to see it, you have to get it to Tom.
Right. So Tom is actually out this week, but he'll be back in the office next week. And that should be enough time if you're just doing a pre-application, because we don't have the deadlines that we do for a public hearing.
Okay.
and then you might, the Friday before the Tuesday of the hearing, is to check to make sure that everything you sent in was uploaded properly, so that everything that you submitted is there for us to look.
Okay. All right. I'll work on that then. I appreciate your time. I just wanted to try to see what was necessary to get together for you guys.
All right, Mr. Davis, and I'm sorry we blew past you earlier during the preliminary session, but no big deal.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know when I didn't want to interrupt you guys, so I just thought I'd sit and wait my turn kind of thing.
All right, that's all good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you at a future meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other new business?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
I
Have a
hope
good rest of the
Sarah,
evening.
Sarah's daughter, I hope won.
Yeah.
Thank you,
See you
Todd.
later.
All right. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Todd.
Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me.
You did a good job.